Do you know most of the things that you learned that sabotage you started when you started kindergarten, grade 1? Worry about what other people think of what you have, what other people think what you do, what other people think, what other people think, what other people think. And you know the worst thing that teaches people that when they're kids? It's called show and tell. And so people grow up, they still have the 5-year-old mind and they still want to play show and tell. So they want to go buy something they can't afford. They want to keep up with the Joneses. They want to buy things and do things just to make themselves feel like they're important or get status. And what you're actually doing is you are actually attacking yourself. How do you attack yourself? Everybody knows what nature is, right? Because we're all surrounded by it. So look out your window, look out the door, look out somewhere. Do you see the tree looking to be an inch taller than the one next to it? Do you see the blade of grass looking to be a centimeter longer than the others? Do you see the mountain still inching and inching to be the highest and the highest to be in the clouds? Do you see other animals say, you know what? Last time we went up north, it was a little too cold. So you know what? We're not going to go up north. Or should we go to north yet? How about now? 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 Nature doesn't rush. Nature doesn't overthink. Nature knows that it's on a time schedule and it's got to be on schedule. Do you see the sun say, you know what? I burned a little too hot yesterday. So you know what? I got to take a break. I'm too hot, right? Too hot all the time, right? Let me be the moon. You know what? The moon has it easier, right? Oh, look at over the moon, right? The grass is greener on the moon, right? It doesn't do that. You see, the mind must be trained. And the problem is your mind has not been trained the way it needs to fully understand instinctually how to live naturally through instinct, not how we want to use logic. You see, everyone's logic is determined on how they learn something and how they apply said learning or concept. So logic in itself is not necessarily the way we want to understand. If we want to develop an awakening, and that awakening creates said intelligence, and once we have said intelligence, that intelligence is able to awaken other things faster so that we no longer stay stuck. And the problem is we replaced intelligence with information. I'll give an example. You don't believe me about school? Well, if school was so great, I'm not saying school's bad, but if it was so great and targeted to make you into the best possible person, it would show you how to start a business. It would show you how to do your taxes. It would show you how to find a partner. It would show you what it takes to make something last forever. It would show you exactly how to care for the most valuable things, such as your peace. School doesn't teach you any of that, but they want to teach you algebra. They want to teach you trigonometry. You speak English as a first language, but they want to fail you because you speak English as a first language, right? So why is it that we have all these other things that want to reprogram us and deprogram us from who we're supposed to be instinctually? And when we finally want to get back to who we are, we're so busy living in that programming that when it comes time now for us to develop what we need to develop for ourselves, which is the purpose of what we're here for, it is very difficult too, because we're so busy living in a different world, in the next world, in the world that we are not supposed to thrive in. The world you're supposed to thrive in is in yourself. So that when you are able to conquer yourself, then when you bring that world outside to other people and you give and you share that peace and you give and you share all of that honor, that integrity, that respect, that compassion, that courage, that honesty, then you will have the utmost loyalty from nature itself, and it will do its best to make sure that you don't have the illnesses, you don't have the diseases, you don't have the things that become misfortune that now plagues a lot of people. Everything is all about alignment, synchronicity. And if we cannot get into that level of synchronicity because this gets in the way, which most people, that gets in the way, then we create these hazards. And said hazards now, it becomes where now sometimes most people become stuck after they reach their hazard. And then when they're stuck in that hazard, it keeps going down and down and down and down and down. And the whole point of it is not to keep going down in a hazard. The whole point is to identify what is the hazard and make sure we never repeat the same mistake twice. That's why we're supposed to learn from others' mistakes. And in order to better our mental well-being, we have to learn to be the most humble and understand that when we need a little bit of guidance, when we need a little bit of help, it's okay. But the number one thing is to never suffer in silence. What you will realize is the greater amount of peace we can bring to others is the greater amount of peace that can be returned to us, and vice versa. The greater amount of peace we have within ourselves, the greater amount of peace we can then share with others. So everything we have in ourselves, we can then share. But the issue that a lot of us that are plagued with is the second that we get a little something, people want to look down on others. The second that we don't have something, we want to feel like the victim of others. The second that we are inadequate or we feel inadequate and have all that doubt, then now we have all these other things that play the games. And if we can stop playing these games on us and on other people, we have a chance. If we can stop the games and stop playing the games on everything around us, nature can naturally allow us to recalibrate so that we can get back that peace.